this morning you're going to hear from our staff, and Bitsy Kasselberg is one of the college readiness counselors. You'll hear from her in just a few moments. Loren James runs our mentoring program. You will hear from her when the students come back because her message is really important for all. And we have about 150 mentors, facilitators, and volunteers who help bring all of our programs to life. So over the course of time, you will get to meet a lot of those people. We have one of our board members here today, Candace Tate, so say hi, Candace. We are fortunate to have a strong board of directors who really keep us on task in terms of what our mission is and make sure that we have the funds available to continue to provide the services that are offered. So in your packet, let's get some paperwork done first. There is a parent and guardian release form. If you will just take a moment and complete this and sign it, then we're going to have our two students, Serena and Maya, raise your hands, come back and collect these. So after you filled it out, if you just move it towards the center here, and they'll come and pick those up. So I'm going to give you a second to do that. No pens? Let's see. Do we have any pens? I think we gave them to the students, so if we might have to share pens. We apologize for that. So the more we can get your student and you as a parent to check your email daily, then the easier it is for them when they get in college. And honestly, the easier it is for us to stay in communication with you. The more we have to resend emails or call, it's just less time we have to really devote to your student directly. So please make an effort to check your emails every day and to make sure your student is. When we send your student an email, you are copied on that, so you know what we are communicating to your student. So anyway, this pledge, if you will sign it, it just outlines the expectations both of us and of you. Okay, everybody signed, turned in? Go ahead and sign. The students are signing theirs too, so we'll have them both. Yeah. While they finish collecting those forms, the other thing you have in your packet, we are going to talk about Ms. James, or Dr. James will in just a few minutes, but it is a list of the different mentoring groups that have been assigned, and so you will probably find your student's name on there, but when the students come in, she'll spend some time going over this with you, but I want to make sure you've got this in your packet. Okay, as soon as Maya and Serena get done with those, they are going to distribute a document called Family Focus. And we did this selfishly. We didn't put it in your packet because we didn't want you to read it beforehand. We want to go through it with you. And so that's an old trick from teaching, right? So and there's one per family, Serena. While she's handing those out, the student packet that your students are receiving has in it a game they played this morning, so you'll get to see what they did. It also has a schedule of all of the sessions for this coming year. And then we ask them to fill out some information so we can get to know them a little bit better, what they hope to gain from their summer experience and what they think about the colleges that they might want to attend and what they think their ACT tests may be, just a lot of things like that. So it's all just information gathering for us to get to know your student a little bit better. And one of the questions I think is, how can your parent best help you? So if there's something on there that really needs to be shared, we're always happy to do that because you are the key to your student's success. We are just one of the supporting elements of that, and the school that your student attends is a supporting element of that. But every student learns differently. Every student has different challenges, sees opportunities differently, and we try to help them maneuver through all of the noise in the world today and help them decide what is really true, what is really helpful to them, and how they can best achieve. The achievement of your child means success for Reach Memphis, but more importantly, it means success for our community and for our country, because you don't know where your student is going to end up. So that's really the reason for this document. And Serena, if there are any extra, will you make sure some of the mentors and everybody has one so they can see what we're talking about? But this, as you enter in to this relationship, we are asking a lot of you, and we know that. We are asking for your commitment. We are asking that you ensure that your child follow through. For example, when we do ACT prep work, they may be with us for 2 hours a week or 2 hours a month actually doing the prep work, but they leave from there with an assignment to do something. It may be an hour an evening, depending upon where we are in that process. If they do that follow-up, they really can improve their ACT score. If they say, oh, I didn't have time, I had this practice, I had that practice, I can do that later, they won't get the full benefit of that. And only you as a parent can ask that question consistently. Did you do what you were supposed to do to get ready for the ACT test? And your students as sophomores will be taking a mock ACT. I think we have it in January or February. So they're all going to take one. So they'll all have a sense of what is this test? How does it work? It doesn't matter what the score is on that. It's a baseline. It will let you know, okay, looks like we're doing pretty well in math, or whoops, math may be something we need to spend some more time on. And then that gives us the opportunity to really make sure we are concentrating on those areas that are most beneficial for your student. So follow-up is an important commitment from you. The sophomore year, the other thing we're really concentrating on is this summer experience. You know, that's oftentimes why kids first say they want to be a part of Reach Memphis. I get to go someplace this summer. I get to do something I haven't done before, or yet another experience that I've never had. That is just the tipping point of what we are all about, but it's a very important tipping point. When your student is placed, they are placed based upon their interest, what we know the school is looking for, and where we think your student can be stretched the most. We're not looking for where is your student going to be the most comfortable. We're not looking for where is your student going to be with all of his or her friends. All of that goes away. We want your student to experience what it really means to begin to taste that independence. And let me give you a little hint. From time to time, we've had a parent who says, I'm just going to go with my student. They won't even know I'm there, but I'm going to go to New Hampshire, or I'm going to go to Indiana, or I'm going to go. Don't do that. Please don't do that, because that's taking away from your child the opportunity to really say, I've got to figure this out. I've got to learn how to be independent. I have to get up by myself. I have to do my own laundry. Oh, and I have to get to class on time. And if I don't, there's nobody there to say, oh, that's okay. I'll give you a call in the morning and make sure you get it done. This is a real testing ground for them. And the schools are looking for that individual who really wants to have this opportunity. Sometimes a student will call the day they get to their experience and say, this was a mistake. I am coming home. Please come and get me now. And they're crying, and you're saying, I am on my way. And we will call you and we will say, whoa, wait a minute, let's slow down. Let's see if there really is an issue. And within 2 days, you're calling us because you haven't heard from your student and you're just sure something awful's happened. And they're saying, I'm too busy. I'm having a good time. I'll see you in a couple weeks. So they adjust very quickly. But oftentimes there is that overwhelming moment of homesickness, and I don't want to do this. Sometimes it even starts before they go. So a few days before, they'll go, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. I've got other things. I really just want to stay here and concentrate on sports this summer. It's too late. You've made that commitment. You owe it to, the student owes it to himself or herself. You owe it to them to get there. And we owe it to the institutions where we're sending students to ensure that the students come. So you're going to have lots of ups and downs and ebbs and flows and exciting moments and tearful moments to get to the point where they go away, have a great experience, and come back. And when they come back, they're a different person. And that's okay too. That's what you want. You want them to be a little more mature. You want them to be a little more independent. You want them to be able to talk with you, maybe in ways they haven't talked with you before. Maybe to question a little bit. Maybe to push for their thoughts a little bit. That's okay. That's a sign of them growing up and maturing. So the focus on the placement is really important. And it's not an option for the kids, although we make sure and work with them as closely as we can. But it really comes down to the partners we have, what they are looking for, and what your students are trying to achieve. So there will be lots of conversation around that over the next weeks to come. Oftentimes, or I should say sometimes, after that first summer experience, the junior year is full of lots of different opportunities. There are scholar groups. There are sessions that are devoted to really developing life skills that are important for success, not just in college, but in life. And those are all critically important to participate in. Sometimes your child may have the opportunity for a second summer experience. We have a few programs that really prefer rising seniors. So if your student has done well as a rising junior, has really shown that commitment throughout the junior year or going into that junior year, and they have an interest in some of these specialized programs that are for rising seniors, we may talk to you about, would your child be interested in attending a Notre Dame or a St. Albans or different universities throughout the country that really want to work with rising seniors. We also, on occasion, have internships for rising seniors. Those are rare these days. More and more corporations are looking for college students. They want to have, I think there's a little bit of a liability issue there, so they want to have kids in college, but there are still some who will allow high school students internships. We have a law scholar program, and through the Bar Association, our students have an opportunity to intern. We don't place them, we just give them the opportunity to have that internship. And if they've been in that law scholar program and fully participated, they have met attorneys and judges all over this community. And they have networked and built relationships, and so they know how to go about getting that internship, and they're usually pretty successful in achieving that. So that's an important part of these next steps. So please don't just focus on this coming summer experience. It's key, it's a huge step, but it's a first step. And we want to make sure that you understand that so you maintain that commitment throughout the course of this 4-year program. The second sheet really talks about the support that you should expect to receive from us and the benefits that you will should anticipate from your student. This is an interesting key point. Individuals with a college degree have higher earnings over a lifetime. They average $2.3 million over their lifetime, compared with a high school graduate who usually has about $1.3 million over their lifetime. So it's not just all about the money. It never is. If it is, you won't be happy. But to know that if you put forth that effort and find a skill and an area of interest in a career that you are passionate about, that college degree can carry you far. And it's important to be as well prepared for that as you can be. The social benefits of being a successful college graduate are many. Testing, surveys, studies indicate that those with a college degree are happier with themselves. They have a better level of health, oftentimes because they take themselves seriously and they really want to take care of themselves. And they are more likely to vote. Now, I saw a statistic that this past election across the country, voter turnout was really up. In Shelby County, not so much. So that's an important factor, that we really get out and vote and look to the future of our community. So you can see across the bottom, here's what we're focusing on for your student. We want independence. We want them to really develop some critical thinking skills. We want them to understand diversity. When they go to these summer programs, they are not with people just like themselves. They're with people from all over the world. They're with people from all different socioeconomic levels. And they learn how to come together and make friends with all of those people, and it helps them mature in a much different way than if they don't have that experience. Study skills. A lot of our students, your students are smart, so they think they don't really need to study, and then comes college, and then comes the, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. And some schools devote more time to study skills, but oftentimes they don't. Some schools don't have homework anymore. Sounds great until you get to college. And then all you have is homework, because that's all they're saying is you have to be prepared for this and this. So study skills are really important. And we added time management. Our college students often say the one thing I wish I would have paid more attention to from you all was time management. I'm just struggling managing it all. And now they're in high school. They have lots of activities. Sometimes they're in more than they can handle. And they don't really know how to manage that time. And if we can help them now, when they get into college, it becomes much more doable for them, and they can appreciate their time and how to use it much better than if they haven't spent the time getting ready for that. So we also work hard to make sure that the college selection is important. Some of your high schools will say, I want your student to apply to a college a day, to 100 colleges. They'll put that number on there. That's great. Do what your high school requires. That is not a requirement for us. We want you to concentrate on the 5 to 8 schools that you are truly interested in. And our college readiness counselor will really help you determine who are those schools, where are the safe schools and where are the stretch schools and what's in between that really I want to give some undivided attention to. We want to make sure it's a successful transition to college life. We've talked about that. Once they've successfully transitioned, we want them to graduate. We may not keep in touch with them as much, but hopefully by then they feel enough a part of our family that they're keeping in touch with us and they're letting us know how they're doing and what they're doing and when they graduate. And then we look to them to be our future. Those of us of my era and past, we've done some things well and some things not so well. So let's hope that these next generations can really learn from our good history, but also learn from our past and do things even better. And the better educated they are, the better well-read they are, the better they are at being able to correspond and communicate with people from all venues, then the better this world is. And that's our goal. So we appreciate you. We want you to take this seriously, and you will get to know all of our staff well. We are available pretty much 24/7. We used to say the only time we don't do things are on Sundays, and then Loren, our director of mentoring services, corrected me recently and said, excuse me, we do have sessions on Sundays now. So we try to make it as convenient to you as we can, but when you're working with 300 plus kids over time, it's not always going to be convenient for everyone. So please take that into account. Work with us as much as you can, and we will work with you as much as you can. I'm going to turn it over to Bitsy and let her talk a little bit about college readiness, and then if there are any questions, we'll take those, and then we'll have a break, and your students should be ready to come in by then. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, I guess you can. I don't really need one of these. I'm like Loren. But anyway, my name is Bitsy Castleberg. I'm one of the 2 college readiness counselors for Reach Memphis. Candace Hagans will be in here shortly. She's the other college readiness counselor with the organization. Margaret's touched on a couple of things today. Commit and communicate. That's what I was thinking as she was talking earlier. Obviously, you and your child are committed to a good education, a good future for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be the stellar individuals they are already. We feel like at Reach Memphis, we can help you, take that extra step into the journey that is college and beyond, and that's what we want to do. But the commitment does have to continue, just like Margaret was saying. And the communicating, I cannot tell you how critical that is. A lot of times, we will send emails or messages out to you guys, but we need to also have you realize that the communication can work both ways. So if you're having any concerns or issues or questions of any kind, we want to hear about that, because more than likely if you are with your student, probably other people are as well. So we can't deal with situations we don't know about. So want to be very sure that you're comfortable making that a two-way street. In fact, one of the things you will notice as you leave, over on the radiator over there, the cards for Candace and for me are there if you ever need it. That will be in the future, but they're still over there. But I want to be sure that we do realize about how important the communication is going to be over the years. Now, one of the things we talked about is this year is really going to be focused mostly on preparing your students for their summer experience, which is fabulous. In fact, we have some parents in the audience who are parents of alums within the organization. We even have some alums over here that are now our mentors, and they can tell you what an incredible experience it is. But now that's just the beginning of the Reach Memphis journey, like Margaret alluded to. The junior and senior years will be spent on critically helping your student in a lot of areas, helping them improve the skills that they need to improve on and get them better prepared for college. Now that will work with the scholar groups that Dr. James is going to talk about shortly. And in those scholar groups, they will learn about specific professions, but even more, there's some core courses that they will be involved in. Again, Margaret alluded to them: essay writing, interviewing, college selection, time management, skills that we have found over the years and that the studies actually show in the news media are critical areas for our students to be proficient at, or for any student or individual to be proficient at when they're going to college and beyond. So the first thing, there are 2 things I guess that Pam could probably focus on that you do, your student does when they come back from their summer experience. Number 1 is to write that college essay, or their summer experience essay. You will find very quickly that we have our students write just about every time they do anything with us. And the reason for that is that writing is critical, as you all can appreciate, no matter what profession someone is in. Being able to express yourself on paper is a critical part of being a good citizen, I feel. So writing that essay is going to be critical. And then the second part is having a junior interview. That will be with Candace. And in that interview, she will go over what the student experienced in that summer, but also go over goals for that student for the next school year and any other game plan that they need to have as far as that's concerned. And that's actually the beginning of creating the plan that we will build on over the next 3 years for the students. Throughout the course of the year, like I said, there'll be workshops in a variety of areas to help your student. There'll be a lot of programs going on. We do need that commitment, like Margaret said. Just because you're in a meeting or a session and learning about ACT or writing or anything like that, they're only going to get good at it if they keep practicing it. I mean, we all know that from when we took math, when we had to memorize tables or whatever. You only get as good as you put into it. So that's where we really focus on that, and sometimes come down fairly hard on our students about that, about making that commitment. Because like Margaret alluded to, all of our students are smart, and all of you guys have obviously done a great job or they wouldn't be in this program. So thank you for that to begin with. But we also realize that sometimes our students may not have developed some of the best skills they need regarding study habits and time management and issues like that. So we want to help them so that when they do make that transition to college and are on their own, they have some information to fall back on and they feel like they are better prepared for making that next step. So that's what will go on in their junior year, just very briefly. Their senior year is when we'll actually put into action what they've learned in their junior year. We'll be creating that final college essay. We'll be creating that final college selection list, that final list that they want for school. We'll have some more practicing and interviewing, because we encourage our students to have college interviews if they can, so that they can, sell the colleges on themselves, because we know that we have great students, and we want them to be able to be comfortable letting those colleges know that they can't live without them being on their campus the next year. And then we help them do all of that, and it's exciting when at the end of their senior year, they all get up and announce where they're going to college, and it's tears and cheers and everything else. But then the freshman year comes along. And like Margaret said again, freshman year is daunting. Whether you are prepared, we'll be prepared, but whether there's a lot of preparation that goes on. And sometimes it's subtle. It's sometimes learning to not go downstairs and have a cup of coffee and some cookies with a friend, but staying up in your room and studying. You know, having that kind of self-discipline and that type of thing, learning how to make the right decisions. That's why we feel it's critical that we stay in communication with our students their freshman year, because that is a very pivotal year for them to make that transition. Basically from childhood to adulthood is what they're doing. So that's why we very much stay involved with them through their freshman year, and I can tell you honestly, through their junior, senior, and on into graduate school too, which is wonderful for us as well, because we were able to see some of our students actually come back and talk about how the tools that they received from Reach Memphis actually ended up making that extra, making extra opportunities and giving them that extra edge when they got into college. Things like communicating with their professors, the emails Margaret alluded to. We actually have a student who was actually praised in her class because she responded to this professor's emails, but also the emails she wrote back to the professor, he said were some of the most professional ones he'd had in his entire academic life. So just little subtle things like that that your student will learn from us, we hope will be pivotal in their success, not just through Reach Memphis, but through college and beyond. I think that's really all I have this morning. Any questions at this point? Yes, ma'am. You want to answer that one? I mean, I can, but I'll let Margaret answer that one. And I'll say something if she doesn't say it.
We start with the focus on the summer experience because that really becomes the building block for everything else that we do. The sooner your child has that opportunity to be on either a college setting or some kind of leadership program setting or a preparatory school, then the better understanding they quickly develop of what the skills are that are necessary to succeed, not only through high school so that they are ready for college, but that they have the grade point average, that they've done the homework that they need to do to really be prepared for college. So we start out with that focus, and then we keep building on that. Oftentimes you will hear us say, what summer experience did you have? And they'll talk about it, and then we'll say, when you had that summer experience, what did you learn? And that may come up in a scholar group setting so that then the scholars know how to take that experience, challenging or not, and keep pushing it forward. Some of our students are a little reticent. You know, they may go away and they may be very quiet, and so they may not participate at first. And they learn quickly that they've got to pull themselves out of that they do have to participate. They do have to speak up. And once they've done that, they bring those skills back to their junior and senior years in high school. So it's really an important aspect of helping them get ready for college. Any other questions?
Can I just throw something in there just real quickly? In fact, for an example, I was just talking with Reverend Letcher, one of our mentors, and he was talking about how one of the first students he worked with was really kind of shy and retiring, that just by nature. But within a few days of getting in his summer experience, he kind of found his voice. So he kind of got comfortable with what he wanted to do, and it brought about an opportunity to learn more about himself, just like Margaret said. Yeah.
Any other questions? Sure.
We are a team, can you tell?
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm Pam Jackson. I work with the Summer Experience. Piggybacking on what has been said, I'm speaking from the children's point of view. Another key reason, along with those major reasons, is that some of the students, your kids are high-performing students. That's exciting. Sometimes high-performing students think they know it all. And I'm coming from high school experience, working in high schools, and sometimes you have to show them what they don't know, so that when they come back and they appreciate what we provide for them, if that makes sense. Okay, not talking down about any student, but sometimes you'll hear me say that to the kids too. Sometimes our highest performing students don't make it. And it's not because they can't, it's sometimes they have a block. They think they know it, and they don't reach out, and they try to do it themselves. And we try to get them exposed so that when they come back, they're ready for this. So that's another key reason with the other foundational things that we do with them. And we need you all to help us do it. Okay.
Okay, why don't we take like a 3-minute break, let the high school students come in. The restrooms are just, I think, right outside and to the left and to the right. And then as soon as your kids come in, then we'll get started on the induction. Great, thank you.
This is later. This is after they do all the paperwork. Yeah, because they got to fill a survey out, and those 4 forms. Then we'll take a 3-minute break so that they can get their locks and go on the switch. With you. Yeah, I'm going to say that we work on the this mentor and that, and that you're going to walk me through the mentor piece, and then we'll do the paperwork, and then switch over, transition, give it about 3-minute transition, so that I can walk these kids through this, because Destiny's not coming, Miracle's not coming, so I have to make some adjustments. Okay, so we'll love it. Good morning, students. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you all. I'm the voice that's been on the phone with your parents, and some of you, I'm the text person, the email person, Pam Jackson. And I'm director of the summer program and placements. So we'll get to know each other real, real well in the next few months as you get ready for your summer experience. This morning we got a lot of things we got to get done before we do 2 things. We're going to do our paperwork, and then we're going to do our induction ceremony. But let me tell you a few things before we get started. Because we as a team, as a staff, parents, we reflect all the time. That's part of what we do to get better with what we do for your students. Anybody that knows us, we're very serious. Students, look at me, we're very serious. We're very serious about what we do. This is not a job. It's 5 of us. That really, it's 5 of us and volunteers and mentors. We're your heart. And I want you to own that, because we really, really are. When you found out about Reach Memphis, I don't know how you found out about it. I sat down last night and I said, what am I going to say to them? And I reflected on, I said, why are they so excited? Because when I emailed you, called you, you all were so excited. And I was going, are they excited because this is an opportunity to add something to their resume of things that I do? Because you all are high performers, and we know that. I'm excited because I'm competitive, and I beat somebody out. Because you all beat several students are not here today who wanted to be here. And it's not because we don't want to serve, but you remember those of you who attended the interest meetings, we told you that all of you are smart. You couldn't even apply and be considered if you didn't meet a certain GPA. But we looked at what your teachers said about you. We looked at your record. We looked at your voice. Your voice was spoken through the word that you wrote about. And you all really, really hit some hearts. You're very, very serious about some of the things that you're doing. We noticed that. Very, very serious. Very self-reflective of yourself. You really, because we asked you about a challenge and how you overcame that challenge and how it changed you. And so you really gave us, some of you really gave that, you wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't. You gave it a lot of thought. So your voice spoke through that paper, and that helped push and drive the people that are looking at your work to get you here, along with your record and what your teachers said about you and what you said in your interviews, because you really touched some of the interviewers too. They really were touched. I mean, some wrote on that, they got to be in here, they got to. So you really did what you needed to do to be a part of the organization. But going back to why you got excited, I hope you got excited because you see this as an opportunity to grow. I know you don't know a lot about it unless you got friends in it, and there are some plus and minuses in everything. Nothing is perfect. But with an organization this old, who you can go back and talk to people who have really been touched by this program, and it's not something you can say, look and see. You have to see the individual and how it changed that person, the person who now is in his 60s, who started out with this program 50 years ago, and the one who just got back from his or her summer experience, and who's still actively engaged in this program. It's not about a summer experience, so get that out of your head. That's the carrot. That's to get you thinking and wondering, am I ready to get out of my mama and daddy's house and grandmama's house? Am I ready to face this world and be challenged and critiqued and pushed? Can I deal with a struggle, an academic struggle, a personal struggle, and still thrive, survive, and even become like the firebird, come out in a blaze where you're better than you were before you went in? That's what this program does, and we can't show it to you. You're gonna have to work through it. And that you're gonna hear that from our mentors. You're gonna hear that from my colleagues. You'll even hear it from the students that are in it who are engaged. Now, there are a lot of our students who are in the program, but they're not as engaged. And you will not get anything out of this program if you're not engaged. You'll get nothing but a name. If you want to be different from what you are now, you got to stick with us. You got to stick with us even when you don't want to. Some of you are in a lot of things because we looked at what you were in. We didn't want someone with a whole plate of things you got to balance because you can't get a lot. You know, some people have so much they're doing that they're so busy running to the place that they don't get anything out of it once they stop because they're thinking about the next place. So we tried to look at what you had and say, can they balance this? And if you can't balance it, then you need to get up and leave today because you won't get anything out of this. You got to put this as a priority. This will help you get where you need to be and survive where you are when you get to college. First, we work with you through 10th, 11th, and 12th. You say, well, I'm already doing well. But there are some things that still you need support in that you don't even know you need. And that's because you haven't gone through that piece yet, so you don't know what's ahead. We work to try to get you ready for that so that when you hit that first year of college, you'll stay. Because most of you, probably 100% of you, I'm not going to say 98, 100% of you will have a scholarship unless you do something real crazy where your grades fall and you just don't make this ACT, and you're probably going to do it. So 100% of you are going to have a scholarship. The problem is with 100% of you have a scholarship at the end of first semester of your college year. And that's what we work to try to make sure that that doesn't happen. Some won't even stay. That's an issue. Having worked with high school students, some of our top performing students get these wonderful scholarships and they can't make it because they want to come home. I'm homesick. And I know this for a fact because I work with some students that happened to. And they say, I want to get away from home. And then when they got away, they couldn't deal with it. So we try to get you ready for that through these summer experiences so that you have a little idea of, okay, I'm not as ready as I thought I was. Okay, and then our mentors and our volunteers, they help you get ready for that. So when you walk into that freshman year, nothing bothers you. Because you've gone through it. I heard it from my mentors. I've experienced it through my summer experience. I'm ready. That's what we try to do. But we can't do it if you're not present. And when I say present, I mean present in body, present in mind. You got to commit. You've got to commit. And I'm saying that again because we said this last year to the group and the group before that. And the ones who got it are still here, and many of them are here helping today, our juniors and seniors. But there are a lot of them that we're worried about because they didn't get it. And we can't give you something you don't want. And your parents can't either. They have to push and encourage you, but they still can't make you accept it. You have to want it. So we hope that we have something that would excite you, like when you got that phone call, that text from me, that excitement will still be there this time next year when you're helping with the new class. That you can say, wow, I'm so glad I'm here in this, and I'll do it again if they offered it a second time if I was going through 10th grade again. That's what we want, because you're our voices. So it's not about numbers. It's about changing the one, and that's you. Changing you for the better. And we're not perfect. But our goal is to see you do well so that you'll come back, or wherever you are, as Margaret mentioned, as Bitsy mentioned, you'll come back and you'll serve your fellow man, that you'll make a difference. And it doesn't have to be in Memphis. We would love for it to be in Memphis. Hopefully it will be in Memphis. But if it's not, wherever you are, you're touching somebody else like you've been touched. That's the purpose of this program. And so sometimes I think I get too serious about it. But you see what's going on. You all see the environment. people don't care about each other like they need to. And it's up to us to help rebuild that. It has nothing to do with people as a group. We're human beings. And we love all of you. And you'll hear us say that. Love sometimes hurts because we're going to push you, and you're going to say, I don't want to do it. And then we're going to push you again, and we're going to hug you when you get through, and then you're going to say, I did it, and we're going to say yes, and we'll celebrate it. So that's our goal. And parents, I can't do it, and I say I can't do it without you all. We said we're a family, and that's not just to say something. We cannot do this without you. We cannot. We cannot. They don't drive until they're seniors, most of them. So you got to get them there. And when they tell you they don't want to come, you got to say, get up, come on. Or when they tell you, I got 10 things to do, you say, well, you made this a priority. Let's do it. And if you can't, then be honest with yourself and us and let us know so that we can let somebody else have it, because we turned down a lot of students for you. And not because we wanted to, we just couldn't serve everybody. So you're it. So don't let us down, and don't let yourselves down, because we're going to do whatever you ask us to do, but we need you to help us do it. So with all that said, let's get to work. Okay, you got a schedule in your folder. You got a schedule. Parents, you don't have it. The kids have it, and they'll give it to you, though. They have a schedule. As I said, we have to get ready to send your way. A lot of you have traveled before. Summer vacations with parents. Some of you've done things with your schools. Some of you may have had a summer experience. But the thing is, did you get out of that what you needed to? Because when you come back, what happened after that? Did you just go away and say, oh, it was done? Was there a follow-up? Was there any follow-up with that as to the impact that it did? Or was there a lot of prep to get you ready? Did you have prep? Were you prepped for it? One of our parents, I think with the junior orientation, one of our parents mentioned, she said, my child has traveled to Europe and everything. She said, but I wanted her to go through this program. And she said the reason is because her child had never been away from her. And when she went away, she was always with a group. She said, but she had to go away this time on her own. And it matured her daughter and changed her daughter's focus. So a lot of you have been places. We saw that on your applications. But it's still a difference because of the way we prepare you for that summer experience. So keep that in mind when you say, I've done this before. Yeah, you've done it, but you haven't done it this way. And so that's what we're trying to get you to see, that there are some things that can be better for you so that you will be the leader in your freshman class. And hopefully the leader of your senior class when you come out of there as college students. In December, in a few weeks, December the 1st, you got that essay writing session. And most of you did pretty good on your writing, but we're writing the essay to get you into your summer experience. We have partnerships with these schools. Some give us money, some don't. They look at income, but you got to first get in. Before they do anything, before they talk about money, scholarship, no money, whatever, you got to get in. And just because you didn't reach Memphis does not mean you get in. You have to apply. And a big component of that process is that essay. Just like it touched our hearts, it touches their hearts. Because all the kids pretty much meet the same criteria. They're good students. So what makes you different? So we work with you with that to help you perfect that essay so that you have your best writing going out for you when you do your application. You got to be there. It's going to be at Southwest on Macon Road. We have one of our volunteer instructors to come in and teach that, and she's done it for years, and she does an excellent job with it, and she will be there with you all to help you with this, and I will be there too. So we need you there for that. Then you got one in January. That will be where we meet with the parents. You'll find out where you're going for the summer. And I think Margaret talked with your moms and dads and family about that earlier. It's, you don't choose where you go. Those forms that you have in that packet, we look at what you do in your mentoring sessions. We look at what you put on those forms. We look at your grades. We look at your subjects. Look at what you're taking, because some of the schools they want the top of the top. I mean, they want the 1%. And all of you got A's and B's, but some of you are taking a lot of AP classes, some of you are taking honors, some of you are not. We don't want to send you anywhere where you're going to fail, because that's not our goal. Our goal is for you to thrive and excel. So we look at all of that. We look at your interests. We try to, you say you want to go into pharmacy, we try to look for that. If you want to go into engineering, we try to look for a program that matches that. That's why we ask for a first, second, third choice, because sometimes we can't get what you want for your first choice. So we look at second choice. But you have to trust us that wherever you're going, we're not going to just send you anywhere for the sake of saying, oh, I put them somewhere. There's a lot of thought that goes into that. Sometimes it'll be just strictly academics to help you improve, be on a college campus, improve in your academic studies, and we look at that too. So it's a lot of things that we look at in that program. Some schools will give scholarships, others won't. Everybody in here has to pay something, but we tell every parent not to get stressed out about it, because we're never going to put anything in front of you that you can't deal with. And Reach Memphis works through that, and you'll hear about that as we move through this process. But don't let that frighten you, saying, well, I can't, because we even talked to you all about that, kind of mentioned that. So don't stress out on that piece. We'll address that as we go along. But in January, that's what happens. You find out your placement. In February, we work with you with your application. And so you'll hear more about that each month. As a date approaches, you get an email from me, copy your parents on it, so they'll know what's going on and what we need. Everything is on here, but you'll hear from me via email. And sometimes phone calls if it's something critical that I got to get to you about. As you see, March, we have a community service, because we're very much involved, engaged in the community. So we do a community service project, and it's a fun thing. So you get to know each other a little bit better too, as a group. And then in April, we get you ready to leave here. Some of you will drive, some of you will fly. But the thing is, we get you ready for wherever you're going for your summer experience. And then in May, we celebrate your successes with the juniors and seniors. But that's the gist of this. As I said, you'll hear about it as we get closer to each date. One of the things that happens, you heard me say mentoring. This work would not happen. It would not happen without our mentors. They're like family. They are family. And Loren says they're her family. She has just taken them. But they're our family too, because we love you. We do. And we need them, want them, and they have jobs. Kids, students, they have jobs. And, you know, when you get off from work, you want to go home. Most people do, you know. But they care so much about this program and you that they leave those jobs and they come, they get up on Saturdays like now. They don't have to be here, but they're here because they care about you. But they don't like teaching to one when we tell them 10 are coming. And it's unfair to teach to one when it's supposed to be 10. And they'll speak for themselves, but you've got to be present. Remember that, be present and be engaged. So Loren is going to come up and talk to you about the mentoring program and the schedule for mentoring, because the mentoring piece gets you ready for the summer experience, and they also work, the mentoring piece works with you personally if you have personal concerns and things that you need help and support with. So I'm going to turn this over to Dr. James and the mentors, and then we'll pick up after she finishes.
Good morning. Good morning to the parents. Good morning to our sophomores. We are so excited that you're here. One word that you have heard over and over today is support. You will get support from the staff. You will get support from our volunteers. But for me, the largest support that you're going to get is from these people standing behind me. These are our wonderful, committed, dedicated mentors. You're going to make friends. I tell the parents, these kids are going to tell these ministers stuff they'll never tell you. And that's okay, because they sign a confidentiality agreement which says, regardless of what I hear, I will not be passing that on to anyone else. That does take a hand, yes. Because we want you to trust them. They are going to solicit your trust. You've heard a lot about Reach Memphis being a family. Well, kids, say hello to your new aunties and uncles. The schedule that Miss Pam just shared with you is for you all to come together in a huge group. But in order for us to get you ready for summer experience, we have put you into many small groups. You have a sheet that looks like this in your packet. Would you take it out, please? We have put each of you into one of 6 group mentoring sessions. Now, notice that some will meet on Saturday, some will meet on Wednesday. If you have a conflict, because I didn't check with any of you, did I? I just did it. If you have a conflict, I will be out by the registration table. Let's talk about it. I've already had one student that can't come on a Tuesday. Well, I'll be swapping her out. So I want you to be comfortable. And parents, you got to be comfortable too, because how are they going to get to Reach Memphis? You're going to bring them. And what I really want you to do is when you bring them to the sessions, I want you to stay. And I'm going to take you in a different room while the students are being prepared by their mentors. And I want us to chat and get to know each other. And I also want to know what progress you are seeing from these sessions. These mentors have gone through everything that they're going to talk about. We get your students, we get your children ready for roommates. Everybody on this stage has a roommate story. Good or bad. But you need to hear it so that you'll know what traps not to get caught up in. We're going to talk about some etiquette. What if you get invited to the president's home for lunch and they have 32 pieces of silverware on the table? You need to know what to do, don't you? Diversity is a really good session. It's a fun session because right now you're going to school with people that look just like you. That's not going to happen when you get where you're going for summer experience. academic integrity. We want to teach you about some values, have you identify these values that are in yourselves. Conflict resolution. Life ain't no golden stair, is it? And you're going to come in contact. How are you going to handle another arrogant student? We teach you some skills to get you through those humps. And we finally have a class on inclusion. We want you to be tolerable of others, to understand other cultures so that you can grow as a person. So remember to meet me downstairs if you have a conflict with any of these sessions. Now notice I've only given you the days. I haven't given you the dates yet. They will come out next week. And still you may have a conflict. Don't ever hesitate to call me or email me. These mentors know that I don't go to bed till about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So if y'all are up that time, feel free to contact me. Okay, you are now getting ready to hear from each of these mentors. They will give you their name, where they are employed, and most importantly, why they do what they do. Because Miss Pam said they have jobs, they have families, they have extracurriculars that they're involved in. But you know what they do more than anything else? They love you. And I'm so proud of them. And like I said, these are your new aunties and uncles, so y'all gonna get to know them really, really well.
Hello, I'm Colleen McCartney. I work at Arts Memphis. It's a nonprofit art organization here. And I think you'll probably hear the same answer from all of us, is that, one, I wish I had this when I was in high school. I wish someone told me what college was going to be like. And yeah, it's just, it's exciting to work with y'all and kind of give y'all experience that we probably did not have.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Donald Letcher Jr. I'm the pastor of Moody Chapel CME Church. I've been a mentor for about 4 years or so, and my desire is to give back to the community, and especially to give back and help our young people to be productive citizens in this country. And I think it's imperative that we all make that commitment, and so that's why I'm a part of Reach Memphis.
Good morning. My name is Candace Tate. I work at Porter Leaf. I work in contract management, and I'm here today because, like Colleen said, this is a program that I wish I had when I was in high school, preparing me for college and preparing me for the things that I needed to know to help me not only in college but later on in life.
Good morning. I am your new auntie, Marion Thomas. I am an educator at Shelby County Schools. I also have I'm in a youth leader at my church. So I have a love for young people. That's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this through Junior League of Memphis, and I'm just excited. Once again, I wish I had this particular opportunity. I did have some opportunities to work in programs when I was in high school, but I just hope that you all take all the advice that we will have for you, and you allow the sky to be your limit.
Good morning, I'm Larry Wilson. I work for Methodist and St. Francis Healthcare in the field of emergency medicine. I am a mentor because I want to pay it forward for many of the new students coming after me. And to echo the sentiments of my other fellow mentors, I wish I had a program like this. I was in a similar program at the time, so I look forward to being your new uncle.
Good morning. My name is Rachel Brannon. I work at Allsac St. Jude and their digital group, so in the tech side of things. I am a first-generation college graduate. My mom was an immigrant from the Philippines. and I just know how hard she worked to even get here to have the opportunities that we have. And I want to find a way to continue to empower the next generation to feel like they can do and make change in this world.
Hi, nieces and nephews. See y'all. My name's Jayla Johnson. I'm currently work with the City of Memphis as the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Specialist. And I had a similar experience to what you all are gaining, and I want to be able to give that back with you as you prepare for college and the rest of your high school career.
Hey, good morning. My name is Ladarius Gustavus, and I also work for the City of Memphis, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Office. And the reason I'm here and I want to be a mentor is because I had a similar experience as most of these young people on this stage. And I'm a first-generation college student. It was very hard to do on my own without any guidance. And whoever I'm mentoring, you will hear about my first-year college experience. And I hope that yours is not the same way, and that's why I'm here. So thank you all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marissa Hunt. I am a sophomore at the University of Memphis. I also serve as a mentor at my on-campus job at the ITS service desk. And the reason that I wanted to be a mentor with Reach Memphis is because I went through the Reach Memphis program all through high school, and I really enjoyed it. My summer experience was really important, so I wanted to give that back. And my sister is Candace, who you all already know, so I just want to keep it in the family.
Hey y'all, my name is Jocelyn Love and I work on the alumni team for Teach for America Memphis. And I am here because I was a part of the program way back when it was called Memphis Prep Program. And I understand the importance of the program. I understand like me being in the program and what it did for me. And so I definitely want to be a part of giving back and making sure that you guys can grow as much as I did.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chanel Tyler, and I'm an attorney with Glankler Brown Law Firm. And I'm here because a little bit of a personal reason. When I was around your age or a little bit younger, my mother actually passed away, and so I realized then, how important it is to have good mentors in your life. And a reason why I'm here is actually because I did have people pour into me, so I would love to be that for you all. So if you ever have anything, just feel comfortable talking to me, and I'm excited to meet you all.
Good morning. My name is Ben Doan. I'm the Director of Operations at Aurora Collegiate Academy. And I've been in this program for 4 years now, and I really love all the time that I get to spend with my mentee and getting to know what they're really interested in, and I'm really excited to work with you all just because I attended a similar program back in my hometown, and it really changed the trajectory of my career and my life. So.
Hi, good morning. My name is Andrew Sullivan, and the reason I'm the Director of IT for Jackson Hewitt in the Memphis District. And the reason I'm here is I did not have a lot of guidance through my college journey, and whenever I had a problem in front of me or went to a counselor for advice, their answer was also, yeah, good idea, like, okay, go do that. And no one ever really challenged me on it. So I want to kind of help challenge people to make the right decisions on their own terms. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Demarcus Fields, and I work with the Hope Church of Memphis as a youth counselor, minister, as well as a freelance journalist. And the reason why I'm here as a mentor is because when I was younger, one of my mentors taught me that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. And if I can implement that same philosophy within my group and everybody else, I believe we're going to have an amazing time. Thank you.
I don't know how to follow that. Good morning. My name is Regina Webster. I'm with the Memphis Police Department. I am a supervisor in our Communications Bureau. And if you're not familiar with that, it's the 911 dispatcher. You dial 911 and we dispatch the police to you. I am also a volunteer, and my daughter is also a Reach Memphis student, a product. I think with Ms. Jackson and everyone that's a part of Reach Memphis, it's a village support system. I really wanted to volunteer. I was able to get this opportunity because the city of Memphis opened up a mentorship. And you know, police, we don't close. We're open 24 hours a day. So it was a great opportunity for me to give back. My husband and I both. Our daughter has been a part of many organizations, but Reach Memphis was the one that really resonated with us. And every opportunity we get, we try to give back. And I'm a new mentor, and I hope all of the children or the young adults that I would meet them at their needs as being a mentor to them. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Marvin Brown. I am a civil engineer with Pickering Firm here in town. I'm also the secretary for the American Society of Civil Engineers here in Memphis. I've been mentoring for about 4 years, and I would like to reflect everything that everyone else has said already, but also, I didn't have a program like this growing up. If I can get all of you to avoid one of the mistakes I've made along my path, I feel like that's a success. So please learn from my mistakes so you can have an easier road.
I know who your favorite uncle is. We want to thank our mentors, and you will be seeing them very soon within the next 2 weeks as we get started to prepare you for your first year's journey in Reach Memphis. Thank you.
Okay, real quick, you all, we have those forms, so we need to get started on those in your packets real quickly. Parents, please bear with us, but we've got to get this information from the students, and they need to fill these out, and once that's done, we will move into the induction ceremony. The first form you have in your packet, Getting to Know You, this information that you put, remember that I mentioned we will use this as decisions are made about your placements. And so this is the only way that we get to really know you from what you provide us. So take this very seriously and respond to these quickly. The second form, and we're going to take these up as you complete them. While you're working, real quickly, we have our juniors and our senior leadership teams, and we'll share that in a minute with you, but they'll help us collect this information. Parents, where is Candace? This is Candace Higgins. Candace has been working with the students upstairs. Many of you met her during the interview sessions. She's been kind of helping support me and the team in making sure the students are doing what they need to do. So we didn't dare want to leave her out. You're going to hear from her at the end. She's the junior counselor. She works with Bissy referenced her when she was speaking, but this is Candace. So this is that when they leave this piece with me, they move to her. So she's a very major component to this organization, and I want you to know who she was too. And she's helping us direct this with them to get these forms. So as soon as you finish, hold them up so that we can collect them. As soon as you finish that first form, getting to know you, then move to your second one, but we're trying to take them up in order. So as you finish, just hold it up. There's also Candace reminded me, there's a second getting to know you in the back that is staple. That's a survey. So you'll do that, but that's at the very back of your folder. But you're working with the one page getting to know you. Thank you, Candace. Forgot about that. It's the one with the blue. And make sure you put your names on it. Do that first, please. And if you finish, just go on and move to the next one. I pledge to you. Your parents have already signed theirs, so you have a copy of it. I pledge to you, just sign it and hold that one up. Let's get to know you first, though. We need to get to know you. And parents, we apologize, but we've got to get this information. Thank you for being patient. Kelly, are you in here? Kelly. Parents and students, Kelly, you'll get to know Kelly too. Kelly is a Reach Memphis alumnus also, but she works in the office with us. We could not do this work without Kelly. We want to make sure she's giving up her Saturday morning. She's a college student at CBU, and so you know that time is precious, and she's here with us. So thank you, Kelly. If you finish, hold it up as soon as you finish. Hold them up as you finish, so we can move on to the next one real quick. The next one, you're just signing, I pledge to you, just sign it, and your parents have a copy of it, so you can review it. No, they turn the copy in. But if you, we can always send you an electronic copy if you want to see it. But we need you to sign that. That's just your pledge and your commitment to reach Memphis. So sign that and hand that also to our students that are helping. Then move on to what do you want from your summer experience? Give them that one, fill it out, and you can do that one. Quickly, you all think right fast. And before you give them, please put your names on them. Sometimes you all forget to put your names, and I don't know who they're from. So make sure your names are on your forms. Top right hand. Candace. Have you all got, what they all names? They just doing them, just doing them. As soon as you finish your those three loose sheets, go ahead and do the stapled getting to know you. Put your names in the right-hand corner, because there's no space for that on the stapled getting to know you. If you'll do that real quickly. When you get to that, and as you finish, just hold them up so they can collect them. parents, while we're waiting, please do help me with this. Hopefully we won't have as big of an issue. Please ask your children to check their emails regularly, because everything we do is by email. We do text, but we're trying to get them to start using that, because in college, everything that those professors send is through an email. And so I copy you all on things so that you can reinforce it, but we're trying to get them in the habit of doing that. So I always communicate to remind them what's needed, because part of this process is not necessarily about these meetings. Once we get started with the process, I have to reach out to you that I need something from you, because the schools may ask me, I need this on this student. I need you to send me something, or I need this from the parent. That's why we had to have the financial papers, if you all remember with that, because the schools ask for it, and sometimes they are asking me for more than what I have, and they are saying I need it directly from the parent or whatever. It depends on the schools. So I will call, text, email, but I start out initially with the email for them, because we're trying to get them in the habit of that, of checking emails. I know they're more in tune to the text messaging, but it's more to help get them geared toward using emails more so. Also, we're stressing, and this is not a negative, but it's something we have to do. We want the students to get, as I said earlier, as much as they can out of this program. If they start missing, we're going to have to dismiss them. And we don't want to do that. That's not our goal. We want to keep them for 4 years, and then we want them to come back and mentor. It's not about dismissing, but if they can't do it, it's not going to be of any benefit. So please encourage them to look at their schedules. Dr. James sends email. Everybody in here sends emails. If anything changes, it's coming through an email. We give you a schedule, but it could snow. Somebody could get ill, that the presenter can't come. Anything could happen. And we tell you early enough so you can make adjustments. And some students say, well, I didn't know. Nobody told. Then we said, did you check your email? So please, just tell them to start doing that regularly. Just check your emails. It doesn't mean it's always going to be something there, but you don't want to miss it, because that's how we communicate with them. And Candace is the younger person, so she does a lot of texting, but she also starts first with that email. So yes.
And when you read the email, just respond so we know that you received it, because it may be that like emails have changed or something like that. So if we don't hear back from you after you've read the message, we'll be trying to call you and everything, and it therefore takes away from our time that we want to spend productively with the students too. That's part of the
we do, yeah. Well, I forgot about that. Okay. Are you on the survey now? Anybody on the survey? Great. Okay. Harry. And I'm just saying this for me. Don't get mad at me if I worry you, but I have to, because I will be. I'm worried. I'm sorry. I'm just saying ahead of time. I have to, because I have deadlines, and they push me, and so forgive me ahead of time, because I will call you. And you can call me too. Let me say that again. Call me if there's any questions about anything. That's why we're here. Call me, Pam Jackson. And I think all of my number's on everything thing, cell number. So just call me and I will definitely respond. Text me. I will get back with you because it's critical when we start this process. Don't forget to put your names on the survey at the top, the stapled, well, on all of them, but particularly that one because there's no line for your name. Put your names on the survey.